Well. Welcome everybody to another BD Boxing Podcast special. That's right, special Tuesday night or evening, Open Lines edition, fellas. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Open Lines, anything goes. And today we have a very special subject, continuing on the subject of last Saturday's mega fight. Now some people are saying or suggesting that Tank Davis should fall in the top 10 pound for pound. Some people disagree, some agree. And I said, you know what? This is a great opportunity to continue the momentum that we got going after the last two shows. And it's open lines, which means anybody can join. That being said, we only have about 10 spots. Sometimes that's too much, man. All right, I'm going to create about 5 spots. No, excuse me. 8 spots. And then we'll move it up to 10 if more people are joining. Hold on a second. Where do I? Yeah, because sometimes 10 does tend to be a little bit too much. Nevertheless, it's your show, and we talk about the subject that I said here. Now, if that subject doesn't pan out or if it fizzles out, I got a couple of other things that we can discuss. And, of course, don't forget, after this episode of the BD Boxing Podcast, we've got Rumble. We've got the Second Renaissance on Rumble exclusively over there. You guys can join for free, or listen for free, rather. You don't have to sign up or anything. Or it's better if you join up so you can comment in the chat. We always appreciate seeing your feedback in the chat. Nevertheless, for the moment, it is today's Open Lines Tuesday. And so let's get started. Let me put the invite in the chat. All you guys got to do is click on the Discord link right here and you can join. Don't be scared. We don't bite. And the other thing about it is, like I said, 8 spots. Try to really fix the volume so that we don't hear any distortion in the background. Try to be in a quiet place. We don't want to hear kids running around. We don't want to hear, if you're in the street, especially if you're in a dangerous neighborhood or something, drive-bys or whatever. And essentially, yeah, that's all I'm saying here. What else was I going to say? Hold on real quick. Oh, yes. Before we get down to the festivities, don't forget to hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Super Chat feature. Although it's always better if you join the membership program. That way you get more bang for your buck. Even as it may, here I am. Oh, come on. Hold on a second. Hold on. I just said if you don't... Try to fix your mics before I jump on. And yeah, Don Mardazos, you get a lot of background noise, man. Plus, I hear myself in the background too. I think you get your speakers on. So let me know in the chat when you're good. And I'll unmute you. I got to mute you for the moment. Oh, shout out to SSC for rejoining the membership program. He says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Shout out to SSC. Thank you for joining the BDM or rejoining the BDM membership program. And hold on a second. Where's my... Here we go. Shout out to him. Actually, let me put in the single comments here. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I also want to give a shout out to everybody out there. Hold on a second. We had Lalotoso, who says, no, Tank Davis should not be top 10 pound for pound. Lynch or Bill Lynch's Tank is pound for pound. Larry Liston says, hope Jimmy rips Ryan to shreds in this one. Skulky says, Larry Liston, Ryan Garcia is a joke. Joseph says, yes, Gervonta is the face of transvestites. That's not really helping me much here to come up with a determination. Salute to the boxing, the BDA kingdom. Yes, salute. It's the BDA empire at this point. Zero Cool, shout out to him, says Open Lines Tuesday. That's right, special edition. Lucky Zim says, to be honest, Tank is on a different level to what I originally believed. The kid will give anyone problems. All right, there you go. We got one opinion right there. Hold on a second. Windy City says, Open Asshole Tuesday. Believe it or not, that was actually going to be the name of the show, but then the BDO board of directors decided against it. They said something about it being crass or something. I don't really get it. All right, we got Don Madrazos already on the panel and Telkine's Pancreation. Fellas, can you hear me? All right.
I can hear you.
PDA.
Fantastic,
Yes,
fantastic. Good to hear from you fellas here. All right, now listen. I'm going to try to share the screen here with you. Hopefully it doesn't screw things up. Sometimes it does. All right, so I'm going to be sharing the screen with you because right now, as the subject of the title details, there's a discussion now whether Tank Davis is pound for pound top 10 following his victory over Ryan Garcia this past Saturday. Now, as you can see here, just to give you a little context, AOL.com, boxing pound for pound rankings, Gervonta Tank Davis rolls into the top 10. I didn't even know AOL still existed, first of all. And I certainly didn't know that they had boxing rankings. What else do I got here? Hold on a second. There was more. Okay, so Phil J says that Garcia wasn't even rated in the pound for pound top 50. So he disagrees with Tank Davis being top 10 pound for pound. And as you can see, there's more here. I think Kevin Iol has him between 8 and 12. And if you go to, what's the one I'm looking for? Okay, so we're going to be basing ourselves on Ring Magazine's and ESPN's top 10 list. So whoever's in the panel right now, if you guys want to go, give me your opinion. Do you think Tank Davis is top 10 pound for pound?
Absolutely not. That is the most ridiculous notion. First of all the people on his side have trashed Ryan Garcia in the past. So if you're fighting trash, supposedly, in your opinion, and this is, the Haymanites, if you're fighting trash, then what does that make your fighter? Second of all, the guy, he didn't even have a tune-up fight. This fight will ever be stained by the hardcores as the fight that, Tank beat Ryan, dehydrated Ryan Garcia, just like the stain on the fight of the Pedraza fight, the dehydrated Pedraza. So I really think that the notion, it's very premature. I'm not saying that he's not top tier quality. We just don't know how far he can go yet. It's like the people that were so high on Boots Ennis before that last fight, and Janibek before that last fight, the boogeyman. And they looked regular in their last fights. So I think calling this guy a top 10 pound for pound fighter is a bit premature at this time.
So your argument is they were disparaging Ryan Garcia before the fight. Then on top of that, they saddled him with a bunch of rehydration clauses, no tune-up, spies in the camp. Now it turns out you're saying that's not pound for pound. Top 10.
Of course. I mean, even if they didn't do that, EDA, even if they didn't do that, who has Ryan fought that he's top pound for pound anyway? I mean, if you're going to be on top pound for pound, that means you're taking the place of a top pound for pound guy. In my opinion, the top pound for pound list is volatile. I've never been a fan of it. I think it's subject to criticism from all sides, and it depends on the organization putting out the top pound for pound. If Top Rank's going to put it out, of course they're going to favor their fighter. Everyone has their own version of the pound for pound, and it's all subjective. I really don't like lists like that too much. I'm not a fan of those kinds of lists. There's a lot of variables that come into play, and here's one thing: you have a guy like Tank Davis that he showed a lot of patience, and he has got a lot of experience in the ring, versus a guy who, let's face it, he after that Luke Campbell win, he made bad decisions. I mean, he had a hand injury, but he made bad decisions. He didn't get back on the horse right away. He didn't do anything to solidify his spot as one of the top contenders. He's not even a contender. He's basically just a prospect level.
I want to go back to something you said. You said he's never beaten anybody that's in the pound for pound. Now, do you necessarily have to fight somebody that's pound for pound to be pound for pound?
Well, at least you can. At least at this point, he hasn't fought anybody of note. I mean, who has he fought of note? Gervonta Davis. Before the fight,
a Wash Gamboa. Perhaps a Wash Gamboa.
Maybe, you know what? I give him two. I give him two fights: Pedraza, which was a weight drained Pedraza, and a washed Gamboa. But he hasn't really shown us much other than that. Not like Shakur. Shakur is a generational talent, and he knows it, and his handlers know it, and we, the hardcore fans, know it. Can we say that about Tank? Can we call him a generational talent at this point? No, we can't. And I don't think he should be on the top pound for pound list. I think it's premature. He needs to rack up some wins against some good fighters, and I'll have no problem putting him in the top pound for pound list. Really, I really wouldn't. I just need to see it.
All right. Let's point taken. Let's let somebody else chime in. Do you think Tank Davis, after this Saturday's win, should be top 10 pound for pound?
No, and I think I have the most credibility because I told y'all on Saturday and Friday, don't pick Ryan to win. Tank will win, and I said if Tank's gonna beat Ryan, he's gonna get zero credit from me because first of all, Ryan's not good to me. I don't think he's that good, and second of all. The fucking weight drain. So he gets no credit to me, but I can say, there's talent there. I think if he really cared about boxing, Tank, he could be a top 10 pound for pound boxer. I have him maybe around 15 to 20. But if he really cared about the sport, he has all the natural talent. He could be a top 10, top 5 pound for pound guy. But I feel like if you put him there right now, you're disrespecting the guys like that really put in work, like in a way, Beeble, guys like that, guys that have actual skill.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, well,
I would put him there.
We can do this then. Later on, we can look at Ring Magazine's pound for pound list and ESPN's, because that's what I usually do. I combine both and I go by in between for the rankings, divisional rankings and pound for pound. So later on, I want to check that out. And also want to maybe get you guys' pound for pound list. I think I used to have the list here. In any event, anybody else want to go?
100%. 100%. I will definitely go.
Okay, go.
Gervonta Tank Davis being pound for pound worthy. First off, he should be investigated. I don't know about probably get his license revoked. He hasn't. It has a watered down resume. He's the same thing Mayweather has. It's not who you beat, it's how you beat him and when you beat him and how truly 100% the fighter was. Truth is, no fighter is 100% going into the ring because they're exhausted from training camp.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of the matter is that the man had spies. The man's using outside angles to win the ring inside. Oh my God!
He's using what I call.
I can't really give enough credit to him at all.
He's using what I call shadow play. That's what it's called. So you guys are in agreement. Then it seems like you're in agreement. You're saying because of the quality of the opponent, and then on top of that, the outside the ring stipulations and the weighing clauses, and then the molds. I don't know if you guys, who wants to go into detail about that? Can somebody break that down?
I'll say
every camp has moles, man. Every fucking camp has moles. I don't believe in that shit. I mean, it's not a fucking excuse, dude. Trust me, every top level camp has had moles, man. So people make an excuse out of moles. This is stupid. I don't think they've ever been in a training camp before and they know how it is, or been around one. There's moles everywhere, dude. You can't. Everywhere you go, there's.
You know what? I agree with you on that point. But one thing is that you're going out and you're publicly stating it as a handler. If you're my handler, how dare you fucking talk to people about having a mole in my camp? That's going to tarnish my win if I win? I mean, that's going to make me look bad as a fighter. You're also fucking up the organization there. Who the hell admits to that? What kind of fucking bonehead goes out there and says, we have moles in your camp? And that's a fucking bonehead move to me.
Dude, you're talking about Tank and the Mayweather boxing promotions. These guys don't care, dude. These guys are scum.
I understand. And Tank would be better off getting away from those people. It's ridiculous. Why would you admit to millions of people that you're spying on the guy you're going to fight? That come on, man. Have some brains.
That dilutes the sport.
Kind of mind games a bit. Maybe when they did it, I don't know.
I don't know. To me, it feels like it dilutes the sport because I want to see the best fight the best. I don't want to see the best one of the top 10 guys fight a guy that's not 100%. I mean, Tank Davis said it himself. He said he's got advantages, and I want to make the fight fair. That's why I'm putting in the rehydration clause, the catch weight. So, I mean, this isn't, I'm not making this shit up. I'm not making excuses. That's Tank Davis. So if you have a problem with that, take it with Tank Davis. Here's the other thing then, if we're going to be talking about that, just to give you guys a little context about, because some people could say, we haven't gotten to anybody yet who said that, but if Tank Davis does make it into the top 10, who would you take away from that list? So let's go to the pound for pound list. Let's start with the, what's it called? The ESPN list. Fucking A. It's not opening.
There's no way I can make room for him on my list. I'm sorry, I can't.
You want to give us your list before we go on to ESPN's?
I haven't done this list in a while.
Then, if Tank was a champion, you'd have a case for being in the pound for pound. But he's not even a champion currently, is he? So,
well,
isn't that at least a minimum criteria to get into the pound for pound?
Well, look, BDA,
I'm not. We're gonna start. If we're gonna add Tank to the list,
hold on. Let 95.
Look, BDA.
Go ahead.
I'm not
gonna name my entire list. It's take too much time, but I will give you 15 people I think are above Tank in any pound for pound list. Both lower weight classes up to high in the order. So Ioka, Estrada, Chocolatito still in a way, Fulton, Shakur, Haney, Loma, Taylor, Spence, Crawford, Charlo, maybe even Castano. I think he's still good. Canelo, Bivol, Beterbiev, Usyk, Fury, and I could probably name 5 more, but I don't need to because I've already named about 13. So that's my argument. And those guys are way above Tank. Like Tank needs to fight and beat maybe someone like Shakur Loma to even be considered competing with them for a spot. So that's my list. He's nowhere near.
You know what? I would love to see if Tank moves up to 140. I would love to see him fight at least Teofimo Lopez because he was a former champion. That would be, for starters, that would be great. I mean, that's not an impossible fight to make. That's not an impossible fight to make, though, if he moves up to 140. It really isn't. And if he stays at 135, he's got to fight Shakur. He's got to fight Haney. I don't want to hear any of the shit where he fights Jojo Diaz or something like that. You know, and all the people on that side of the road that are claiming that Canelo's not fighting black fighters, name the last black fighter that Tank Davis fought. It's absolutely ridiculous. I hate that they play the race card every single time they talk about these guys. I just want to see good fights. I don't care what race they are. I want to see good fights, not lower level, lower tier guys against a prospect that's 28 years old. He's not a prospect anymore, fellas. He's already, he could be pound for pound. I'm not taking talent away from the guy. I think the guy can do it. I actually think he can really perform at a high level, but he's got to be put in that situation.
Look, dude, if it took the Mayweather promotions, 4 years to finally grow some balls and fight Ryan with weight stipulations, they're never going to fight Teal or Shakur or Loma, Haney. They're not, dude. If it took them that long to fight someone as bad as Ryan, imagine how scared they would be against a real elite boxer.
Yeah, that's the thing I don't understand. That's the thing I don't understand about the whatchamacallit. Yeah, I don't understand why the Tank fans get really mad, because they were getting mad on the open the phone call show and on Sunday's show when you bring up the rehydration clause. Like, no, but he shouldn't have agreed to it. Okay, but he's the one that wanted it, and he said if you don't take these clauses, there's no fight. So they don't want to give Ryan Garcia any credit, but they want to give Tank Davis all the credit for the win. So it's like, you can't have it both ways. So listen, let's face the facts. Like you guys were saying, I agree. There's an asterisk on this win. The mole, the weights, the tune-up. And then on top of that, Ryan Garcia. Listen, I picked Ryan Garcia to win. That's because I didn't think... I think he could have edged it if he played to his strengths. And he did show some of those strengths. But the motherfucker got caught twice. And the final one, he couldn't get up. So it wasn't exactly... Because here's the other thing. Tank Davis said that he wanted to beat Ryan Garcia up. He wanted to break his jaw. He didn't beat him up. He stopped him with one shot to the body. And he didn't break his jaw. So if he would have gone consistently, maybe.
I got to say one thing, though. And this is a testament to the Garcia kid, is that, man, that guy's got a chin, you guys. He got dropped by Luke Campbell, but he took a much harder much more powerful shot going up with Davis that he got caught without seeing it coming, and he got right back up. I got to question his heart though, because I did think that there was a lag with him getting up. I'm still on the fence about that one. But when he got up from that hit, that flush hit, I go, man, that would have knocked most guys out right there.
By the way, fellas, don't forget to hit the like, and click this link in the chat if you want to join the panel. Join the panel. Give us your thoughts on whether you think Tank Davis should be top 10 pound for pound or whether he should stay out. Stay out of there, like some people want him out of society. Now listen, I'll say this. Actually, before I move on to that, let's just see for clarity here what ESPN has as a top 10 pound for pound list. Their list stands as follows: Terence Crawford number 1, Naoya Inoue number 2, number 3 would be Alexander Usyk, number 4 Errol Spence, number 5 Canelo Alvarez, number 6 Dimitri Bivol, 7 Tyson Fury. So they're ranking heavyweights. That thing about not ranking heavyweights, I think that's more of an old school thing. Number 8 is Artur Beterbiev, number 9 Devin Haney, whoa, and number 10 Shakur Stevenson. Interesting. They got 2 young fighters there, top 10. What say you fellas? What do you think about this list?
It's not the perfect list.
If Tank didn't fight Shakur or Haney, who else could he fight to then be considered a pound for pound fighter? Because obviously he's going to probably most likely fight PBC fighters, which I can't think off the top of my head of them having anybody decent. So who else could he fight to be a pound for pound fighter?
But here's the mistake with pound for pound rankings. I feel like they go too much off resumes. Yes, resumes matter, but like skill sets, like the skill set and technique they do is also matters. Like to me, Shakur Stevenson's top 10 pound for pound, even though his resume sucks, you can clearly see the skill. He's not high on my list. He's like number 10 or number 9, but he's in there. But someone like Haney,
but then you have a skill set and not find anybody decent. So
no, but you can see
the skill set.
You can see the skill set, and that's why I have Shakur at 10, not 3
but I think he's asking who's in the PBC at 135. That would be a notable win for Davis to fight to put him on that list. And I can't think of anyone. I agree with this fella. I don't agree. I can't think of anyone that he could fight at 135 that's in the PBC right now.
Davis will never be a top 10 pound for pound guy in his life. He'll never be.
I disagree with that. I think he can be. He's just got to prove it by fighting notable fighters. That's all it is.
He's 28. He hasn't beat any notable fighter.
Yeah. You took 4 years to grow some balls and fight Ryan.
I don't think that fight was. Hold on. I don't think that fight was predicated on just status alone. I think it was more motivated by the money. I think the fight with Ryan Garcia was a lot more motivated by money. Look at how they're gloating right now. Look at how they're taking the credit for the PBC for the pay-per-view buys. The PBC is taking all the credit for earning as much as they sold. I actually don't know how much they sold. It was rumored that it was about 600 to 700,000. And I'm glad Jimmy jumped in here because I wanted to ask Jimmy if he has the numbers for the fight. Jimmy, do you have the numbers for the fight?
Jimmy.
Yeah, they're saying so far around 700. That's what they're saying, but that's a combined. That's combined, though. Remember, that's the zone in Chicago. Yeah, Showtime.
And
they're
that's
trying
great.
to take it all, but yeah, I'll let you finish.
But the
Showtime
PBC
always lies about
the
it.
PBC is taking credit for all of it.
Yeah, go ahead, Don Madrazos.
The PBC is go ahead.
No, I said go ahead. You go ahead. I was interjecting.
Oh, all I'm hearing is that the PBC or whoever the Gervonta Davis handlers are, they're taking credit for all of that. They're saying they came out to see this guy win. Where do you think that money came from? Ryan is a huge draw. A lot of casuals came to see this fight because of Ryan too. It wasn't just Tank Davis. I mean, I would say more than half of it was probably for Ryan Garcia, and it depends on who you fight. Now we're going to see the next fight, Tank Davis fights. Whoever he fights next, if it doesn't do over 300 buys, we know why.
Interesting.
Does Tank even have any ambition to be a pound-for-pound fighter?
Las Vegas, most people came to see Ryan.
Because I think he has a skill set and not find anybody decent. So who else could he fight to then be considered a pound-for-pound fighter?
I
Hold on, one at a time, one
He
at a time, one
shouldn't
at a
be.
time. Hold on, one at a time, because I can't even hear what you guys are saying. Mueller's, what did you say?
I was saying, does Tank have any ambition of being a pound for pound fighter?
Well, you know what? That leads me to another question to piggyback off of yours. I think they're related. Can you be pound for pound? Because, everybody always says, well, this guy avoided that guy. That's one of the fun things that people like to talk about on YouTube, and that's one of the standards they have for pound. Tank, for years, has been ducking Lomachenko. I mean, it's out there. If you want me to put on the statements later, I'm going to do it. But so can he be pound for pound when he was dodging a guy who for a long time was considered, at worst, top 3 pound for pound in Lomachenko?
Okay, we talking
Well,
fact
here's the
fiction
thing.
here.
What's the definition of pound for pound?
Well,
Everybody
okay.
forgets the definition of what
Everybody
that
has
is.
their criteria.
Well, listen,
There is
95.
there is an actual definition, though. Pound
Well,
for
let's go
pound
back to
is
the Lomachenko duck, right? Floyd didn't want Gervonta to fight Loma.
Mm-hmm.
He just came out and said
Floyd,
he won't-
Floyd wanted Tank to fight Loma. Tank didn't want it. That's what really happened.
but it's so again, there are plenty of things. If you go do your homework on this, Floyd prevented that fight from happening.
Okay, break it down. Give us the homework. Give us the evidence. Give us the proof.
I mean, it's all different type of things that's out there.
well, no,
Okay,
if there's all different type of
one
things
second.
out there, then there's
Loma-
enough for you to give me.
Loma
So
wanted
let's do it.
Loma wanted the Tank fight. He's definitely been adamant about getting the Tank fight. I will give you that. However, for us to sit here and say that Tank is the one ducking it when he was signed to Mayweather, they didn't want that look for him. They didn't want that. He is his own man now.
No, I told you break it down. Like break it down how. No, you're not breaking it down. You said there's all.
Was he not signed to Floyd?
There's all top
Was
of
he
things.
not signed to TMT?
So break it down then. If there's all different
Listen,
type of things,
they
break
picked
it down.
his opponents and put those opponents in front of him. So how can you get up here and say that Tank was ducking?
He is ducking.
He was
I
ducking
think
because
what he's asking for is
he
what he's
continued to
asking
be
for
with
Right.
Mayweather,
that he
even though
ducked him. I mean, that's one thing we don't know. Do
We-
you know?
we-
Do you have inside information on this whole thing?
This is dog. They've been talking about this. This is one of the reasons why he wanted to get off TMT. It's because he couldn't fight the fights he wanted to fight.
and
Come
how
on,
long
man.
did it take? How long did
Who
it
am I,
take to
like,
get off
are we
of
serious
it?
here?
So
How long
what
did
you're
it take
saying
him
is
to
his
leave,
team
though?
is ducking him, not Tank.
Dog, do you understand what fulfilling a contractual obligation is?
Canelo sued Golden Boy and got out of it.
Hey, man, well that's Canelo. Man, like I said,
Canelo really wants to make fights. Tank does it.
That's
That's
his own career
the difference.
and fucking get the fights that he wants, but he didn't. That's it. Plain no story.
You're talking about he finally got out of the fucking TMT and look what he did the first time. Rehydration clause, catch weight, late re-weigh-in.
So let me ask you this.
I mean,
Is
fuck, what is that telling you, bro?
135 fighter.
Is that telling you that he's moving straight or that he's moving
He a
crooked?
135-pound fighter, yes or no?
What?
What?
Is Ryan Garcia a 100?
No, he was 140.
No, he's not.
He wasn't at
2 years.
Himself, he did a wonderful
Ryan
fight.
was at
He's
one-
never
one-
tasted
listen,
it.
sir,
I'm done with 135. I'm
Mario
not going
Barrios wasn't a
That was a year ago.
135 pounder, and he didn't do shit with
Barrios
him. Mario
is a
Barrios didn't
147
fight any.
pounder. Why didn't he
Ryan
train
Garcia
Barrios?
the same way?
Wanted the Tank fight. Was Tank looking for Barrios?
What?
I'm just saying.
Y'all
Hey,
killing
saying,
me
you're
with
just-
this.
Bro,
Tank
I'm saying
came
your own mouth. He said Ryan is big,
Yes,
Ryan is
yes,
strong,
yes.
Ryan is powerful. I need to make it fair by
they could say it's
dehydrated.
another
Tank
world
fought
division champ.
Barrios, they marketed it like it was the biggest fight because it was a guy at 140.
So let's use Devin
Can you
Haney.
imagine him putting all these
And they count
stipulations
his
on
Mickey
Ryan?
Mouse
What
belt.
he
Devin
would
Haney.
do with
Okay.
One
Hold
of
on,
the
fellas.
right?
Hold on. I got to interject.
Lomachenko?
Hold
He would
on.
never
Please,
fight Lomachenko. Are you kidding?
excuse me. Because everyone's talking at the same time, and I'll allow it for a little bit, but then eventually we can't hear anybody. So I think Josh wanted to say something about that, or I don't know if it was 95 or Josh. You guys decide between yourselves.
It was Josh. Let Josh cook.
I'm just
Well, I already said what I needed to say. I mean, he's talking about is Ryan Garcia a fucking lightweight. He hasn't fought there in fucking over a year and a half. What are you talking about?
He's a former lightweight.
That's the point. Ryan Garcia walk around and went 50-something.
And what is Barrios walk around?
When you the A side, listen. When you the A side, hey, you make the rules. Hey,
so when you're the A side, fucking shit all over a fighter.
What is Barrios walk around?
Hold on. For instance,
You're showing your own credibility, bro.
For the belts, they had all type of wild ass stipulations. They wouldn't even let his father into the country. He went over there.
No, that's not. No. Bill Haney wasn't allowed for Haney.
He wasn't allowed in the country because he's a fucking drug trafficker.
Yeah, he wasn't allowed. He's a criminal. He's a criminal. That's why he's not allowed.
It's crazy.
That was the
law.
Criminal.
It's not
government.
The law,
they have
boy.
a strict policy on that. The Australian government and Canada, they have a strict policy on that. If you have a record, they're going to make it hard for you to get in the country. They usually don't allow people with records.
I'm not blaming
Canada or in Australia.
When you
use that. You can't play that card here.
When you call out somebody, you got to deal with what come with the shit. You got to deal with what come with it. Everything didn't go Devin's way.
He's a criminal. Criminals are not allowed in Australia.
You're calling out the pound for pound.
Ryan didn't even deserve the tank fight. If you want to sit here and talk about who deserves what,
somebody out, you gotta take what comes with it.
All right. Let me interject. Hold on. Let me interject. Hold on. Let me interject. I'm gonna have to mute.
Guys, when Mr. BDA talks, everybody's got to stop. All right, thanks, Rose.
Thank you, Jimmy. No, that's because, listen, it's not their fault necessarily. I'll just want to say that, Jimmy. Thank you, though. But you know how it is. As the host of this Discord, when they talk, it drowns out the audio. It's a whole technical thing. But anyway, thank you, Jimmy. I did want to say this, though, because we're getting a little bit away from the main point, which is Tank Davis pound for pound? Now, I don't know what your name is, Osama? Is that what your name is? Osama bin... What is it?
Osama bin Swaggin. That's his name.
All right, Osama. We're talking about whether he's pound for pound. So I want to ask you: do you think he's pound for pound? And based on your statement that he didn't even deserve,
pound for pound.
Was that?
So top 5 pound for pound. I don't have him at 1. I don't got him at 1, but I definitely got him in 5.
You fucking crazy,
let's debate.
bro.
Hey, Osama. Let's debate, Osama. So look, you have. Hold on. You have Iona.
He's not on the list, buddy.
You see what I'm saying?
Loma.
You asked me the question, I told you what I think.
Crawford,
definitely in the 5 pound for pound.
Evil.
That was a stupid thought. Don't think no more.
You got all of them over. You got Tank over all of them. Let me name it again. Usyk, Better Be a Bivol, Canelo, Spence, Taylor, Fulton, Inoue, Ioka, all those, Lomachenko, Crawford, all of them. You got Tank over all of them.
Omama bin Slavin has Tank over all of them.
Osama, break it down.
I got him in the top 5. I got him in my top 5. I don't say
why do you have
y'all can sit here and put words in my mouth all y'all want to. Y'all just look like Tank. Name your top 5. Keep this real here. Y'all just don't like Tank.
Osama, break it down.
Y'all just don't like Tank. See, this is the funny thing about. I come over here.
Why is Tank above Taylor? Break it down.
But I come over here and the Tank hate is so crazy.
Look, Osama, break it down. Why is Tank above Taylor?
He hasn't done shit.
Let me put my 2 cents on this. Hello?
Hold on. Nargiros, before you continue, though. Okay, Osama, it's an open forum. It's an open line. That means anybody can join, so don't start clumping in everyone to get on this channel. But
that's cool. But you asked me a question and then boom, fucking 4 of them just.
I agree. Hold on, fellas. Let me mediate this. Hold on. It's got to be 1-on-1 here. It can be 4 against 1. So he asked you, Osama. He asked you to break down your top 5 list. Don't start going into their Tank haters, blah blah blah. Just break down your list and give your arguments about why you think he's top 5 pound for pound and who you're kicking off the list that they have.
I don't know who they got on the list. No, this is my list. I don't care nothing about what their list is.
Name it. Name the list.
No specific order. Definitely got to put Tyson in there. Definitely got to put Usyk in there.
You said Tank is 5, and you're saying
listen,
no specific
hold
order.
on. Let it finish.
We go with this shit.
Let him
Goddamn.
finish. Let him
Let
finish.
him talk. Let him talk, bro. Let him talk.
Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk, man.
I definitely have Tank in there.
Yeah, we know that.
2 more. The couple of the people y'all mentioned, I don't even.
Okay, but Osama, it doesn't sound like you. Doesn't sound like you thought it through.
I'll put Shakur in there, and I don't know who I picked for my 5, but
So you
got my 4 right list, bro. I don't know.
4 there.
Somebody, bro. Name somebody.
All right, 95. I think it's your turn now because. Okay, hold on. Now I'll let 95. 95, you go, man.
All right, look. Josh Taylor's not your top 5, right? So, okay. Why make an argument right now why Tank is above Taylor? Because Taylor undisputed, better resume, better skill set. So the 3 things, Taylor, the most important things in anybody's pound for pound criteria, Taylor clears Tank 3-0 in the top 3. Technique, skill, resume, and belts.
In 95, I don't even have Taylor in my top 10 after that Jack Catterall fight. So I don't know where you're going.
I'm asking this guy, Osama bin Swaggin. Break it down. Why is Tank over Taylor? Break it down.
Oh, man, first of all, I don't understand that. I never told you I got him over Taylor. I don't have Taylor on my list. I don't have Taylor on my list. You saying that Taylor has better skills and a better resume than Tank? Hey, that's opinion.
No. He has better fucking opponents.
Opinion, no.
Resume.
Look, hold on. Listen, just make a credible argument. Just make something factual.
Best wins are against champions that with no fucking weight stipulations and no anything.
Yo, guys, can I make a suggestion?
Are fucking depleting their opponents, bro, or bringing them out.
Can I just make a suggestion? Maybe it would be easier for Swaggins to. What's your criteria? You got to start from that, because what's tricky about the pound for pound thing? My thing is, who do I want to see? It doesn't necessarily go by, but if you go by the standards, say if you go by resume, which is always achievement, is what like the transitional boxing board will go by. They don't go by popularity, none of that shit, although they have been lately with Spence, because I don't think he deserved him in top 3. That's another whole thing. But you got to go by, you look at achievements. That's the absolute number one. And then, which is hardware, belts, yada, yada, yada. Level of competition, duration of championship reign. There's all those little criteria they use. So you got to set a baseline, though. We all agree on, like, what are you looking at? Then if somebody says, well, I'm picking Tank over these guys, like, say I'm picking Tank over Inoue, that you're going to have to explain. They're like, okay, if you're using all agreeing on the same baseline, it doesn't make sense. But I think that's very important to establish. I just wanted to start that so you guys can all go from there.
All right.
Basically, what is pound for pound?
Opinion? So, Swaggin. So, like I said, what's your criteria? Like what Jimmy asked you. Criteria.
Man, so I like his answer though, because I do believe all of that goes in there. Like I said, if you are going by straight up resume, Tank has a flawless resume. Everybody they put in front of him, he beat. Now the three names that everybody want to see him fight, he just fought one of them, right? He just fought one, right? The other 2?
Yeah, but did he fight him straight up? Did he fight him clean, bro? When Taylor fought Ramirez, when Taylor fought Prograis, he didn't fucking put all these stipulations on him, duh. He didn't mess them up before the fight happened.
Stipulations.
How could you even fucking rank him in any case?
Hold on.
Jimmy laid out the framework here. Jimmy laid out the framework here for you to for these questions. He wants you to set up a criteria, and that's also made up of who he fought. You just said Tank beat the last 3 fighters in front of him, but who are they? He built a framework for you. You have to fill in the dots.
Garcia's a fucking Olympian.
You're just saying.
Are you serious now? So Hector Garcia is not an Olympian.
He laid out a framework for you, and you can't even fill in the dots.
Is he not a fucking Olympian? Yes or no?
Who?
Dude, come on.
Hold on. Let me interject here. Let me interject. Hold on. Let me interject because hold on, fellas. Okay, let me just address that. Because Olympic champion. I mean, that's what I hear when people tear down Lomachenko is fuck his Olympic resume.
They act like Tank just fight bums.
But excuse, hold on. We're talking.
He does fight bombs, dude. His best wins are guys that are fucking put into bad positions through different stipulations of coming up in weight or being dehydrated. He's not fighting fighters straight up, bro.
Wait,
he's not fighting straight up. He fought Mario straight up. Did not want to fight Ryan straight up, bro. That's telling you already that he's fucking worried about fucking fighting fighters straight up, right? If he fought Mario straight up, why couldn't he fight Ryan straight up? Why?
Name the names and the accolades. You got to name the names and the accolades. Who has Tank fought? What notable wins? Name the names and the accolades. That's all.
Osama, I just want to know: is he a one division world champion or a three-division world champion?
We can't be asking two questions at the same time. Hold on. Again,
I've been asking him for like 10 minutes.
I know, but that's because we're still on one point, and you want to switch it to another. Hold on, please. We're gonna get to your point, Zero Cool. Again, we're talking about the competition. Yes, Hector Luis Garcia was an Olympian, but that doesn't translate into his professional accomplishments. That's what we're talking about. I think that's what Jimmy said when he's talking about accomplishments. Yeah, so
he said resume. See, that's what I'm saying. We moving goalposts. I'm getting asked 3-4 questions. He said resume, and I said
his resume.
His last 4 fights. If you look at his last 4 fights, y'all gonna tell me that those were all bums. They were bums.
They were nobodies that he was supposed to beat.
They're not bums.
You don't understand.
They were bums.
I'm asking y'all a question now. Now I'm asking y'all. The last 4 people he fought, they were bums, yes or no?
They were C-level fighters.
They were bums.
Oh, no, they're C-level.
Well, Osama, look at it real quick because Osama,
Osama dominated and he didn't. He was losing many of the rounds for all of them. What the fuck you talking about, bro?
But look, not either, because you know what? Tank's resume is not that bad. The problem is, and to be in the top 10, you need an excellent resume. You need a resume that's better than guys like Taylor, Canelo.
Exactly.
There's levels to this, man. There's levels. Hey, Tank's resume's mediocre. I'll say that. It's not bad. It's not good. It's mediocre. Taylor, Canelo, people like that, Usyk, it's great. It's Hall of Fame.
But that's what I'm saying. Opinion. Who you feel is supposed to be pound for pound. Who I feel pound for pound. That's what the discussion is for. I don't have to agree with you. You ain't got to agree with me.
But you have to back up your shit.
To be pretty clear cut, because that's not a resume. Is not really a basis of opinion, bro.
Every single person, and y'all wanted Ryan to beat him so fucking bad, and now y'all got all these excuses. He was weight drained, and this is
buddy. Buddy, don't use that shit on me. I picked Tank to win. You get zero credit from me.
Let me tell you something though.
Tank is a bomb. Tank is a bomb.
They both signed the contract.
No, I picked Tank to win, so don't use that shit on me. I
had a hook that he was an incomplete fighter, and now you want to praise him because he beat him? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
What? Y'all want to beat him so fucking bad? Y'all mad?
All right, this discussion is... Hold on. Let me jump in here. Because I got to read a super chat here. I'm your leader. Shout out to I'm your leader. Says Ryan was... excuse me, please. I'm your leader says... shout out to I'm your leader with the contribution with the super chat. He says, Ryan was never an Olympian. Try again. He didn't make it to the Olympics. He was a good amateur. Okay, yeah. Now, hold on. Let's. Okay, may I interject here and talk? By the way, there's one spot open left. If anybody wants to jump in, we got 10 spots in total, and we got 1 left. So if anybody wants to jump in, you know how to do it. If you're already on the Discord, and if not, here's the link again. All right, let's go back because you guys are talking about discrediting fights, blah blah blah. But I think the issue at hand here, going back to what Jimmy said, how do you establish a pound-for-pound resume? If we go back to that, it's accomplishments, skills, and how you accomplished those feats within the ring. Now, is it fair to say that we're talking about quality of wins, the quality of the win gets blemished, there's a blemish there, if you impose a bunch of clauses on another fighter? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Who disagrees with that?
110%.
Okay, so nobody disagrees with that. Okay, because I wanted that.
No, I disagree. Puro disagrees a little bit because Manny did that a lot, and he never catches any shit.
That's a good point.
Even Rolly Romero was brought down to 135 when normally he fights at 140.
Mm-hmm. I do talk shit on Manny sometimes, though.
I mean,
and I'm not saying that you guys have to. I'm just saying, like, they don't keep the same energy with some of these fighters,
Yeah, Jimmy, did you want to say something?
What's that? Well, I just want, because somebody asked about his quality of opponents. Let's just be factual. Let's take opinion out of it. Rolly Romero, let's be honest, who was he? Before he was mentioned as an opponent for Tank Davis, he was a nobody. Nobody knew of him. In fact, he lost. And first off, I want to establish, I picked Tank to win. So there's no, reason for, sideways looking at this. Was a nobody. He actually got a gift decision against a journeyman. All right, to even get in that position to fight. Isaac Cruz was a complete unknown. He was a last-minute replacement for Romero because Romero was facing those sex allegations over a tweet, which was ridiculous. But anyways, he had fought only on one time in the United States on Showtime Showbox, and he didn't look that good. It was actually a pretty bad performance. That's why I didn't have him back on Showbox. It was the last minute. Somebody was willing to come in on a 10-day notice to fight. He just happened to go life and death with Tank. So all of a sudden he's taking that loss, which is a bizarre way of looking at it. A complete unknown who's now raised up to his position of... Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, okay, you're known for what? Losing to Tank Davis? Because what have you accomplished? Let me finish. No, he's not a household name, bro. He's not. Let's be honest. Tank Davis Tank Davis has gained the biggest following right now for American fighters. Yeah, I'd say so. But Isaac Cruz is not, because you know why? If that's the case, the pay-per-view did under 70,000 pay-per-views against Cruz. So I don't know what household saw him because it did under 70,000. Let's establish that. The other one, let's look at his other guy. Rolly Romero is, I'll be honest, and I'm not even trying to be mean. The kid should be wearing a fucking hockey helmet when he goes to the store. Come on, man. He's a straight fucking half-wit. He is, let's be honest.
He's known as a peanut brain.
And he sucks. He's terrible. His skills, a kickboxer, blah, blah, blah. And then you got, let's go back, Hugo Ruiz. Come on. Fucking, and then what's the other guy? The one-legged 38-year-old shell of, what's his name? That he won all 12 before he finally stopped him. Gamboa. So look, if you just look at the fighters he has fought, none of them were top ranked. That's how, if you want to say, well, how did they get this? You say it's take opinion of them. None of these guys were top 10 ranked.
Another Olympian that don't matter in here. Did
I say? Listen, But what was he ranked? What was he ranked at 135?
Who?
Garcia, the Olympian. What was he ranked at 135 in the top 10?
He wasn't.
He's a career 126 pounder, bro. He's
exactly. He fought only one other time at 130, and then he dragged him all the way up to 135. So he wasn't ranked at the top 135. He wasn't in the top 10. Other than Pedraza and back 6 years ago, Tank has not fought a legitimate top 10 opponent in 6 years. Those are facts. Those aren't opinion. Those are facts. And that's how the fucking people like ESPN, that's how you get rated as top, pound for pound, because you're beating the other guys who are top pound for pound or tops in their division. Until he starts doing that, yes, what he did Saturday night was beat up a popular kid. He beat up somebody with 10 million Instagram followers who hasn't accomplished dick himself. Not excuses. I just stated a fact. His resume is a joke. He's one win out of prospects.
Hold on. Can I just say something? To Jimmy's credit, he was saying that way before the fight took place, and he picked Tank Davis to win. So He's not making excuses.
I
Get to it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Exactly.
agree. Rolly's resume is.
That's his business. I just think I don't necessarily think that he has the best resume neither. I'm just saying that I think it's funny how people just discredit some of the fighters he done fought for whatever reason it is.
He fought one top 10
For all the
opponent.
reasons Jimmy just said, man.
No,
that guy's
bro.
126
nobody's got an impressive resume.
126 pounder, Hector Garcia.
No, who just said that
Hector
other than
Garcia
Loma?
beat him at, beat
somebody-
Colbert at 130.
Hold on.
and then they
Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me interject. Let me interject. I want to let Jimmy go, and then I want to hear from Osama because he wanted to say something. So Jimmy, and then Osama. Jimmy, please go ahead. Finish your thoughts.
Well, first off, I can talk about plenty of guys. First off, Loma's not even close to my top pound for pound right now. That's Inoue, and I can back it up with what he did. So whoever yelled that fucking Lomachenko shit, you're out your ass with that one. Other than that, fucking the kid who fought Ryan Garcia has only fought one top 10 opponent in his weight division. Other than that, they were hand-picked dudes to make him look good because he was a prospect. He was still, the reason why he went to leave Golden Boy was because Virgil Ortiz was named publicly as Golden Boy's #1 prospect. That was just a year and a half ago. He was furious that he wasn't named #1 prospect. Because prospects, then you went to contender status. How you do that is by beating other contenders, which he never did. He caught the kid he knocked out from England, who was ranked #9 when he fought him at 135 on the way out of his career. In fact, he retired after he fought Garcia. So my point being, Garcia has one top 10 opponent on his resume. That does not, so that means his resume is thin. That's factual. That's not my opinion. That's factual.
Okay,
so that's all I want to say. There's ways to actually measure this shit. It's not opinion.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, Lomachenko's really the only one that kind of his resume is the only one that holds up. He was used to, but he's not there no more.
Pudo, let's let Osama because I said he was going to go next. Go ahead,
Osama. We start talking about Loma, and you talk about cherry picking at his fucking finest. But anyway, let's get to this.
How was
let's
that
get
cherry
pick? Okay. Let me get back to who was that?
You wanted to hear that, BDA?
Jimmy.
And I'm sorry, I didn't know that was Pua. Sorry, dude, I didn't know that was you. Said Lomachenko. I don't give a fuck. I didn't know that was you. Sorry, brother. All right.
So
go ahead.
Let's get back to this. Okay, cool. Tank's resume. Y'all have a public panel consensus that his resume is foo, right? His resume don't count. It's whatever it is.
Let's clarify that. Let's clarify.
Okay, whatever.
Osama.
Okay.
Yeah, let's clarify. Osama, let's clarify.
We got that.
Osama, let's clarify.
Jesus Christ.
Osama, let's
mute up. So we got that, right?
Osama.
I want to say this one thing.
Osama, I gotta mute him.
BDA runs the show.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. I gotta mute you, Osama, because we gotta clarify because earlier you said that you claimed that the people that were disagreeing with you were saying that Tank Davis's resume was trash and that they were all bumps. They never said that. Because then you switch it up when they said, no, it's not bad. You said, oh, so now it's not bad. So they're not saying that they're bums, but they're not saying it's the greatest resume, top 10 pound for pound. Remember, that's what we're discussing here, whether his resume is top 10 pound for pound.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. They got it. Whatever. My point is this. Name me one fighter in the 135 division that can sell. And some of these people that y'all put that are in different weight classes, nobody can sell a pay-per-view like
that's a different
Gervonta.
I'm
gonna just throw that in there off the rip, right?
We're talking about skill right now. We're not talking about what you can.
I thought we were talking about pound for pound.
Okay, hold on. I gotta interject. What does that have to do with pound for pound status?
Exactly.
All of that shit goes into it. Because
no, it doesn't. No,
people talking about can't fucking sell
No, it doesn't.
Well, wait,
Jake
let me back up.
Is he pound for pound?
Wait, hold on, everybody.
Is he pound for pound?
Earl Spence said that Canelo was still pound for pound because he makes the most money. So, I mean, I'm just going based on what...
Errol Spence is a bonehead, bro. Come on.
Oh, no, I know that, but I'm saying, like, Earl Spence did say that, so I'm not sure if that's what he's bringing up or not.
Okay. Before we continue, shout out to Chris Andre Boxing for his contribution to Super Chat. He says,
was crazy, man.
He says, Tank's superb, but his best wins are Pedraza and Ryan. If we base it on resume at lightweight, he says, nothing else. Tank isn't even above Cambosos, let alone top 10 pound for pound. All right, shout out to Chris Andre for his contribution to Super Chat. Okay, yeah, let's just establish this right off the bat. Whether you can sell or whether you can't sell or whatever, or whether you're a superstar or mega star, that doesn't factor into pound for pound. Like again, pound for pound is about accomplishments inside the ring, who you beat, skills, and how you beat them. Whether you can sell or not, it's immaterial. So let's go with that.
The man got an O, dog. The man got an O. It is what it is with that. He don't make your pound for pound, cool, whatever.
Osama, can I finally get an answer though? Is Davis a 1 division or 3 division world champ?
He's a 10 division champion.
There you go. We didn't even have to ask him anything. With that alone, he already showed.
Yeah, this discussion is.
Your favorite fighter.
This discussion
No,
is not.
actually, the funny thing is, he's not my favorite fighter.
Well, that's what you sound like. That's what you sound like right now.
It's funny. I go to these different YouTube's boxing channels, and it's like y'all just hate Tank so much.
This is an open panel. This is an open panel, though, bro. No, it's an open panel. It's a bunch of opinion.
Yeah, but hold on. Osama, I gotta interject here a little bit because you said he's top 5 pound for pound, and then people asked you for your list, and you couldn't even fulfill
that's my opinion, though. Their opinion.
But hold on, but let me finish. Let me finish.
This motherfucker said he said 2 names I didn't agree with on his list. I mean, that's his opinion.
Osama,
Who did you not agree with?
Hold on. Because that was the whole point to establish everything. That the fact that you couldn't name the fighters sort of indicates that maybe you don't have things all figured out yet. Like you haven't thought the pound for pound list through, and maybe you could be wrong, and maybe Tank Davis doesn't deserve to be there.
I gave you the 4 off the top of my head. I don't really put much thought into that type of shit because I think the pound for pound list is shit right now anyway. So I don't really give thought into it like that. I gave you my 4 that I felt like should be on it though.
Why do you think it's shit? Can I ask why do you think the pound for pound list is garbage?
Let me pull up.
There's not enough black
pound list right now. I'm gonna tell you.
That's why.
Okay, he's
no. Come on. Let's not do that. Let's let him answer.
Hold on. It's open lines. It's open lines. Done. It's open lines. Hold on. Hold on, fellas. Please, let me finish. I gotta say something. First of all, it's open lines. Anything goes, or almost anything goes. And shout out to D Money for his contribution to Super Chat. He says Tank is the second biggest star in boxing / new face of boxing, but he is not top 10 pound for pound. All right, that's another opinion right there. Shout out to D Money. All right, listen.
So you tell me. Yeah. Okay, you asked me. They asked me a question. I'm looking at the pound for the 10 right now.
Which one? Though?
And they got Shakur Stevenson on this list at 10 before Tank. Tank not even on this list. They got 10 Shakur Stevenson. Loma's at 9. Bibble's at 8. Beaterbev is at 7. Usyk is at 6. Fury's at 5. Canelo's at 4. Spence is at 3. I can't even say this motherfucker's name. He's at 2, and then Crawford's at 1.
Wait a minute. What's the list?
You can't say it anyway.
Hold on, what's the list? Hold on, can you give us? Hold on, fellas, please.
Shakur Stevenson.
Osama, what's the name? What's the list? So I can hold on, fellas, please. I gotta ask Osama something. What's the list that you're looking at, please? Because I can put it on the screen. Osama, did you hear what please give me the name of the list that you're reading so I can put it on the screen.
I'm looking at the ESPN list.
Okay.
I'm on ESPN.
ESPN. Okay, so here's that just for anybody that missed it, here's the list. Shakur Stevenson, number 10. Haney, number 9. Beterbiev, 8. Fury, 7. Bivol, 6. Alvarez, 5. Spence Jr., 4. Usyk, 3. Inu, 2. Crawford, 1. Go ahead, Osama.
I just think that's funny that y'all would put Shakur on a pound for pound list before Tank, but can
I dissect that?
Bro, he's a legit 2-weight division champ.
Hold on, let Nagrios hold on. Let's Nagrios was gonna go next. Go ahead.
Come on, man.
All right, so just to back Osama up a little bit, not completely, but a little bit. Mm-hmm. If there's any reason at all, for Tank to be on the pound for pound list, it's not his resume. It's just the fact that he's proven that he could fight at different weights. Because to me personally, that's what pound for pound is. Somebody who could go to different weight classes and maintain the same level of skill and still beat guys in different weights.
There was a catch weight. That doesn't count.
No, I'm not done yet, bro. I agree with you guys for the most part. What I'm saying is, if there is an argument for Tank to be on pound for pound, because I don't think he is, and if he is, he's either number 9 or number 10. He's nowhere close to the top 8 or to the top 5, guaranteed. You don't have to think. But if there is an argument, it's just going to be the fact that he moves up and down in weight, because that's the first criteria to gauge if someone's pound for pound or not. That's why Loma's pound for pound. He's fighting guys that are naturally bigger than him over and over and over. It doesn't matter what caliber they are. He's fighting guys that are bigger than him. That's what a pound for pound fighter does. Manny Pacquiao fought in 8 weight divisions. He's probably the best pound for pound fighter of all time if you look at that criteria.
That's not totally accurate, though. It wasn't that you moved
part of it.
It wasn't that you moved up and down in weight. It was that you conquered a division and then moved up in weight when you had basically cleaned it out.
So I have a question for you. If somebody clears out a division but never moves up in weight, or does move up in weight and gets popped, and then you have another guy who never cleared a division but is fighting in 3, maybe 4 different weight classes, fighting decent level competition, who would be higher on the pound for pound list? The guy that cleared out one division, like very, very well, but then when he moved up, couldn't hang anymore? Or the guy that moved up maybe 3-4 times, never cleared a division completely, but beat good competition over and over?
I would put it like this. If a guy stays in his native division and beats the top 10 opponents, the best guys in the world in that division, as opposed to a guy who moves up 2-3 weight classes and fights maybe a few number 8s or number 5s, I'd go with the guy that stood in his division.
Yeah, but what if that guy moves up and loses?
He's not in his natural weight class.
Yeah, but pound for pound fighters, they transcend weight classes. So that's why it's called pound for pound.
No,
you're transcending a weight class.
That's got nothing to do with
pound for pound.
It's to compare skills.
That's why, in my opinion, Tyson Fury, we'll never know because he's at the highest weight class. But he's not very high, even though I love Fury and he's one of my favorite fighters. But I don't really consider him a great pound for pound fighter because he's way bigger than every other heavyweight. I still love the guy. I still think he's talented. But if he was their size,
I'm about to shoot down your point.
Oh,
who was pound for pound in 1972?
Okay, so where are you headed with this? Because that's like pretty general statement.
Well, then I'm going to get right to the point. Joe Frazier was pound for pound in 1972. What division was he going to move to? Thank you.
Most people don't have heavyweights in their pound for pound. The only one that deserves it to be would be Usyk because he came from cruiserweight to heavyweight.
That I agree with. Usyk, he cleared out cruiserweight, fucking off the floor, clean.
And he unified in heavyweight.
And is showing dominance. I mean, he's beating guys and he's getting better with each fight.
Yes,
the actual reason for pound, the reason they started pound for pound in the beginning was to compare anybody other than a heavyweight, because heavyweights were always the biggest, got draws or whatever, the biggest names in boxing. So because of that, they always felt a little of classes, were gypped or didn't get enough attention. So what they basically said, pound for pound rule was originally said, what other fighter, meaning if weight didn't matter, pound for pound, you know what I mean? Fighter skills for fighter skills, fighter's resume to fighter resume compares to the heavyweight. That's the reason why they started. So that's why for the first many years, they never would put a heavyweight in there.
But that doesn't exclude a heavyweight. A heavyweight can't be the
No. I was just doing a historic thing. That's all. Yeah, I'm not trying to change anybody's opinion.
All right. Let's get back. Can I interject? First of all, I got to interject because I got to tell the people, number one, hit the like. There's 219 people watching and we're only at 70 likes. Get us to at least 100. Also, we're going to be ending this show in 24 minutes because then we're going to move over to Rumble. But okay, so let's go back to the original point. Tank Davis, top 10 pound for, because you guys are making some interesting points about overall the pound for pound, but now we're talking about heavyweights.
So my final statement on this is, if he is pound for pound, I'm not sure he is. He'd be 9 or 10 at the most.
Okay.
There's no way he's in the top 8. It's impossible.
Yeah, I definitely don't have him in the top pound for pound list. But like I said, I'm not saying that he can't be. We just have to see what he could do, especially if he moves up to 140. Hey, Jimmy, on another note, have you come across anything about Joe Goossen's comments after the fight?
No, I know he wasn't. I know that supposedly Oscar and B-Hop had dinner engagements that they couldn't miss, which is odd. Like, who would be making dinner engagements at 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was, 12 o'clock, which is, I guess. But so that's odd that they couldn't skip on those or push them off. But
Jimmy,
I'm just wondering if he would have won, would they have canceled?
Jimmy, they made those engagements because they were getting death threats.
What?
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that. That's news to me.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was something Oscar De La Hoya came out with. They said that Oscar De La Hoya received death threats and that they banned Bernard Hopkins from being at the post-conference because they accused him of putting some kind of topical testosterone or PED cream on Tank Davis at the weigh-in, which is ludicrous.
Which doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, there's been 2 shootings in the last, 4 Tank Davis fights, and there's always crazy-ass fights inside the arena. So, you know.
Can I just...
and they do make a TPO. They make, I believe, TPO paste cream that does absorb in your system. And I did see a tweet that somebody said that I heard on YouTube, so I don't know where it generated from. God only knows, right? But that he had it in that the back is one of the best places to absorb medicine. Everybody knows that. That was how he worded it, which is ridiculous. There's no one particular part of your body that absorbs it better than another. But again, a topical cream, though, yes, if they would have tested him a week later, why would they have done that, though? Why would they have tested him 10 days out? Because it wouldn't show up for at least 72 hours. So I don't even understand the reasoning behind that. But that's just
It's projection.
I mean, I don't know, but listen, I gotta apologize to the lawyer.
What if they really did threaten Oscar?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
What do you say?
Hello?
All right. Well, okay. Let's get back to the subject at hand. So if we get the ESPN list, who would you guys take if you would? Because I don't think anybody wants Tank Davis in the pound for pound list, or I don't think anybody has him there. So I don't know if this question is going to get answered, but. On the ESPN list, Stevenson number 10, Haney number 9, Beterbiev 8, Fury 7, Bivol 6, Canelo 5, Spence 4, Usyk 3, Inoue 2, Crawford 1. Does he have a case? Does Tank Davis have
Charlo?
a case?
He's undisputed. Give that man respect.
That's on that Ring Magazine's list. He's in there. He's number 9.
But this is the top rank.
What number is Canelo?
Well, on ESPN, he's number 5, and on Ring, he's number 5 as well.
I don't agree with Crawford as number 1, though. Not at the moment, at least. I think Usyk's number 1. Usyk or Canelo, number 1 and number 2.
Who do they have at number 1?
Crawford, number 1, ESPN.
Crawford.
And Ring TV has Usyk.
Guy fights once a year, bro. You can't be
true.
All right. Let me kickstart the conversation this way then. If we're talking about ranking people on accomplishments, skills, and how they, the performance, Tank Davis has been
and level of opposition.
Right, but okay, let's go with the thing that his biggest case or his biggest evidence here to impress people is the fact that he's been knocking people out, right? So. He knocked Ryan Garcia in the last one. He stopped Romero before that. Before Isaac Cruz went 12, but then before that was Barrios and Santa Cruz. So that's about, out of 6 fights, that's 5 knockouts. On the other hand, he's been fighting smaller guys, and the guys his size or bigger that he fought weren't exactly the best in their division. So
that's true. I mean, the definition of pound for pound, part of it stipulates that you measure a fighter on the level of opposition, and Tank's opposition has been subpar so far. So we can't really say. I'm not saying, again, for the people that want to jump down my throat for saying that, I'm not saying that the guy can't be pound for pound one day, but I just don't see it right now. He hasn't fought any. He's 28. You guys, he's 28 years old.
If he fights Haney or if he fights Loma in the next year or two and beats them, he could easily be on the list.
Easily.
But he's not going to do it.
But that's a big if, you guys.
He's not going to do it.
Oh, hold on. Shakur's with Top Rank. Haney's with who right now? Who's Haney with?
Well, he's
Top Rank.
Top Rank. And then who's Loma with? Top Rank. It's not going to happen.
Do you guys think that Tank fights again this year?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I do.
When in the fall?
It's early in the year. He can fight in November.
I mean, he
If
could
I'm
have
not
fought
mistaken,
last
he's
guys
year.
have
3 times in 11 months.
I doubt it, man.
He's staying active like you said you want him to.
I don't know. He's going
Tank
to
Davis, and TMT, they're not running him as if they care about what hardcores think. That's the reason why they call him like a 3-time champion. Because they fucking know that hardcore is already going to say, well, those are not even the real bouts, but they're literally telling you, I don't give a fuck about you. This is all for the casuals. This is all what they're going to do. So they're going to fight whoever they want in-house because they don't give a fuck. That's what they're telling you. They're telling you that.
Leonard Ellerby actually said that publicly, to your exact words. He said, listen, I understand, and he made the air quotes, the boxing Twitter and hardcore guys, like he was insulting the core base, the guys who actually pay to go to the fights and go show up at the fucking Hall of Fame ceremony. Well, they might not appreciate it, but we're targeting a different audience. So you're right.
These guys
targeting
so they're telling you themselves that they don't give a fuck about pound for pound. So if you're then putting him on the pound for pound, that kind of seems like pretty stupid because that's not even their goal.
That's a good point. I mean, look.
Their goal is to make money, and that's it.
Correct. Yeah, and watch it. A good. It's pretty good, right? Make money. I mean, it's not that bad in this world, and in boxing, most companies are not even making money. So. I mean, if that's the prerogative, that's the prerogative.
Look, everybody wants money, but some people do care about glory. Some people do care about, like their resume and just their legacy. Some people care about that.
Yeah, and like the excuse of like him saying, "Oh, while TMT was stopping Tank from doing the fights." Well, look what happened as soon as he got out the TMT. How does he fight a guy that supposedly he's supposed to fight, right? He has to tear him down like 100%. To not even give him an opportunity to fight at his full potential. So what does that tell you already? Like he's not interested in that. He's cool with making money, which is fine, right? I mean, everybody wants to make money. It's it's not the worst thing. I mean, he could make money and not commit crimes. He'll be a good person for society, but he can't even do that. So
I mean, you can't disagree with that logic, but I will say this though: like you also said that Leonard Ellerby's camp, or whoever said that they only care about the money. So how can you make a case for him when his own team can't even make it for him? Now, if I look at the pound for pound list here, this is Ring Magazine's. Usyk number 1, Inoue number 2, Crawford 3, Spence 4. I even think you could shuffle that a little bit because I think Bivol's been more active. He actually, he shows skills throughout the 12 rounds against the best opposition possible. And Crawford's been inactive. So I think you could even make a case for Bivol. But even if I make these changes, it's still these guys here at the bottom here, Taylor, Lomachenko, Estrada, Charlo, Bivol, Alvarez. I can't see Tank Davis being squeezed in there. And especially like Josh says, like, if you're talking about fighting the best, but then you gotta, put in a bunch of stipulations and all that, and moles in the camp. I don't know. That sort of dilutes.
What about the top 15 BDA? Do you think he makes the top 15?
Well, Kevin Ayol said that he's got him in the top 12, but I didn't see the full list that he's got. So
you keep bringing up the stipulations, but some of you picked them anyway. So obviously, you didn't think that made a difference.
I think at this point, Shakur has fought better competition.
We knew it was going to make the difference.
Say that again.
I said we picked Tank because we knew the stipulations made the difference.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm saying some people on here picked Ryan Garcia knowing all the stipulations, and so obviously they didn't really think that made a difference.
Yeah, but we'll never know, will we?
It still made a difference. What the fuck
Yeah,
you
it
talking
still
about?
made a difference. Exactly.
Rather,
Result.
It's obvious Ryan Garcia lacks a lot of skills. That's why he lost.
But that's the thing, though. That's the thing. But hold on. That's the thing, though.
I think he has the tools. It's just his game plan is fucking retarded.
All right. That's what we're talking about, because the reason I pick Ryan Garcia is because he's not totally skillless, even though we did point out his flaws in the film analysis. But I said, those of us that picked him said, because of his physicality, in combination with the skills he does have, could be enough to pull off the win. Now, we didn't say Gervonta Davis didn't have a chance. Just because you pick one guy doesn't mean you're not giving the other guy a chance. That's retarded. But
I'm saying you can't have your cake and eat it, BDA. You can't.
You're not letting me finish, first of all.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll never know what could have been, because, and by the way, I'm not making excuses. Tank Davis is the one that said he's got these advantages. That's why I want the rehydration clause, to make things fair. That's what he said. So don't take it up with me. Take it up with Tank Davis.
Well, I'm saying you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't pick a guy to win the fight and then afterwards, well, it wasn't fair to begin with, all of this stuff.
It wasn't.
Like, come on
even
now.
Tank Davis said that
it wasn't fair since the beginning. What the fuck are you talking about?
So you had a built-in excuse this whole time, just in case Ryan Garcia lost.
And who created that?
Hold on. Let me
hold on. Had to follow the same stipulations.
Hold on.
You think he did that to himself?
Hold on.
I said Ryan did not have to sign that contract. He did not have to sign it.
Hold on.
That's the only way the fight gets made. If I put a gun to your head,
in his own natural weight class if he was worried about that shit.
Hey, can anybody...
Guys, let Mr. B-Day talk.
Yeah, listen, if you all just jump in screaming, like, this shit doesn't work. All right. Now, Redbreed, you said that Tank Davis had to abide by the stipulations as well. So you think he putting him there to handicap himself?
No, I'm saying if both sides have to follow the same, it's not like I'm doing something that you're not doing. Unless you think Ryan Garcia is this huge, blows up like after weighing 20 pounds over. Is that what you believe?
I don't know if that's what I believe, but I'm saying is Tank Davis. I'm saying
we believe that it affected him more than it affected.
No, that's
okay. So I'm saying if that's the case, then maybe Ryan Garcia should be fighting.
No, that's not what I'm saying. He interrupted me. What I'm saying is Tank Davis didn't put that stipulation in there because he wanted to handicap himself. He said himself, he's got these advantages: height, length, reach, power. I want to make it fair. Meaning, if he doesn't put it in there, it's not fair.
Okay, did or did not Henry Garcia, Ryan's father, say that my son does not go over 10 pounds on fight night anyways?
I don't care what he said. I'm going by what Tank Davis said. He's the one that came up with the stipulation.
Yeah, Tank put it in. Obviously, he put it in because he didn't want Ryan Garcia blowing up 20 pounds over on fight night.
There you go. There you go. But hold on. But that's what I. Hold on. That's what I. Listen. That's what. Hey. That's what. Hold on. That's what. Hold on. Listen.
Haney's a weight bully too.
That's what people say about Errol Spence. They say, well, he can.
I'm not arguing against that.
Hold on. Okay, but if you make so you disagree with if you can make the weight, that's fine on fight night. You are actually one of the people that say that.
Man, if you signed the contract, you made the weight. Not to mention, you tweeted a long time ago that if you sign a certain contract and you can't follow the guidelines, that's your fault. So he should follow his own advice.
Hold on. But that doesn't negate the fact that it did affect him. He could have said it was not going to affect me. He could have said it could affect me. The fact is that Tank Davis said that it was going to affect him, and that's why he put it in there, and it could have affected him.
Well, you should ask yourself why he's willing to make these sacrifices instead of going to his natural weight class, which is 140.
Well, exactly.
Why is he so willing?
Well, hold on. That's. See, there you go. Hold on. See, hold on. This guy keeps interrupting. Sorry, man. That's exactly what we're talking about now. We're talking about pound for pound. Tank Davis fought at 140 before. No rehydration clause for Barrios because obviously he didn't respect his skills and the physicality and everything that he talked about.
And if you remember correctly,
you're interrupting me.
He said, "I'll never fight here again."
You're interrupting me. So he's clearly not fighting a guy at 100%, and that's what we're talking about, pound for pound. If you're not, imagine Uzi goes to heavyweight or anybody else, and he goes, rehydration clause. That takes away from the win. That's what we're talking about here. So whether Ryan Garcia said that it wasn't going to affect him, whatever, he accepted all that shit because he wanted to make the fight. But Tank Davis is the one that put in those stipulations, so it takes away from the win.
After Tank beat Barrios at 140, he clearly said, "I'll never fight at 140 again. This is not my natural weight class."
Okay, there you go.
And
so
also, it was Ryan Garcia's idea to fight at a catch weight. So that's why the rehydration. Tank's original plan was to fight at 135.
Even worse.
He actually gave him a bone. He threw him a bone with a 36.
Even worse.
If
I'm saying he threw him a bone with a
rehydration clause on Haney,
catch weight, but fuck the rehydration clause. If that's the case, then just agree on a catch weight, but why do the rehydration clause? It doesn't make any sense. And I know him signing up for it is one thing, but this fight is always going to be tarnished with the fact that he weight drained the guy.
And they delayed the second weigh-in too, bro. They delayed it.
I mean,
by
come on,
4 hours.
We got to call a spade here. That's what it is. No one's taking away from anything else other than the fact is the fact, and that's it. We can't agree on that. I mean, are we missing something? Did we not see the same fight? Did we not see the same turn of events play out?
Well, Don Madrazos, the reality is that
imagine what the media would say if Loma put.
No, that's no,
on Haney.
Well, listen. That's not happening.
It would go fuck wild.
Man, he's not the ace sauce. I'm just like, he can't even want to.
So we can't even go into that because it's.
I'm just saying. Imagine he was and he did it.
I would have to. Yeah, I wouldn't have to imagine that too hard. I wouldn't have to imagine too hard. But that being said, listen. The thing is that people make it personal, and it's about living through their fighter. So they don't want to. Admit the reality, which happens. Listen, it's boxing. It's an open panel. People have their opinions. If they don't want to accept the reality, listen, I don't know what to tell you. But right now, we're talking about pound for pound. And the fact is that it's true. Tank Davis.
I don't think Tank is a pound for pound. Should be a top 10 pound for pound.
Well, there you go. I think that settles it there. And we got 7 minutes left. I wanted to add something because I think we're pretty much done with the pound for pound thing. I think everyone's in agreement here, or more or less. Breaking news: Liam Smith, Chris Eubank 2. Real quick, I want to get some early predictions. That fight's happening. I don't want to get back to the rehydration thing, but I don't know what the weight's going to be this time because some people have made excuses for Chris Eubank and said that the weight. So I don't know what weight, but let's say it's at the same weight class, 150, whatever it was. Who are you guys picking, Liam Smith or Chris Eubank in the rematch?
Pick Smith again.
All right, that subject's going nowhere.
Oh no, I know. Okay, well, Beefy Smith. I'll go with Beefy Boy again. I think that kid Eubank is he's weak-minded. And I gotta say, on behalf of the guys who picked Garcia, remember the second round, his skills and what he brought to the table, his hand speed, his power, and his accuracy were good enough to beat Tank so badly in the second round that even after getting knocked on his ass, and I don't agree with this, I still don't like the score, but one judge gave a 10-10, another judge 10-9, and only one judge scored a 10-8. And the judge 10-10, like you said, because it was that dominant. So, but there was other things that you couldn't gauge. There's things that you can't gauge until you see them in there against someone like Tank, an explosive, hard-punching, accurate counterpuncher. And what is that? What does someone like Tank take out of you? Your heart. Personally, I believe wholeheartedly could have got up a 10, but his heart was checked. And that's nothing nobody could gauge. So if you went by his skills, and he showed that if he would have implied them right, that could have been a decent fight. But there was a criteria nobody could gauge.
Okay, that's well said. Maybe if there was no rehydration clause, he'd have more heart. Subject here because we're running out of time here. Here's the other subject. Morel. This is before the fight. He says, no more excuses, no more nothing. Let's fight David Benavidez. He got his win on Saturday. Guys, what do you think? First of all, does PBC have any other choice than to make this fight? And B, would it be a good fight? Does Morel have, how much of a chance does he have?
He has a great chance. That's a great fight, but it also makes no business sense. Because if they take each other, because let's say they actually fight each other and they go to war, one of these guys' career could potentially be over, and they're 24, 26, and there's no real reward for winning. except from people like us. There's no financial gain. I don't think there's any real belts on the line. So what real reason do they have for fighting each other?
Because then the transitional board will demand that Canelo either give up his belts or face them.
But
There's a
Benavidez
big
is already
advantage to fight each other.
Isn't Benavidez already his Canelo's mandatory?
No, he's his number one in that weight, in that belt sanctioning body, but he's not mandated, meaning the board hasn't gone to the sanctioning board, hasn't gone to Canelo. Yeah, Canelo, you have 60 days to make that fight, or it goes to a purse bid, or you can give up your belt. Meaning you can make the public demand the fight, and then and it's one sanction body. Now, what happens if the WBA, WBC, IBF jump in and say, yeah, we want that fight, Benavidez? My point being, it's never, I understand what you're saying coming from, if you were running the PBC, it wouldn't be smart. But if you want to face Canelo, you take out everybody else. So he's forced to face you or give up his hardware.
Okay, well, all I'm saying is Morrell could potentially be a harder fight than Canelo. No disrespect to any Canelo fans out there, with none of the reward to get from it. What I'm saying is there's no reason to fight Morrell. I'm not saying
he should skip doing what boxers have done from time immemorial and take out the competition so the champion has to face you. You're saying now you don't want to risk your...
I'm saying that's not necessary.
Benavidez shouldn't risk his line in the golden ticket line by maybe losing to somebody good?
It's not necessary because there's already demand for a Canelo Benavidez fight. He doesn't need to fight Morrell to gain more traction or whatever. People already want to see that fight anyway.
How many sanction bodies have mandated him as
that Morrell fight would be fantastic for the fans. I would love to see David Benavidez and Morrell. That would be a great fight.
The problem is they don't got a lot of
It would
fans.
be a great fight, but it's like I'm just saying from a business perspective, it makes no sense. That's all I'm saying.
I have a question here. What makes people think that Morrell is going to be competitive with Benavidez?
The talent, the so-called eye test. He's a Cuban standout amateur. On top of that, he's a hellacious puncher. So that's a scary combination. That's why.
And do you think he has fought anyone?
Is he really a hellacious puncher? He had to fucking hit that guy like a billion times. Nobody.
Some guys are more durable than others. It happens.
I mean, listen. Other than Caleb Plant, Benavidez hasn't fought shit either. So this would be a great fight to see who could be standing on top of 160.
And Benavidez himself isn't a hellacious puncher either.
Well, no, he's a break you down type of puncher like Earl Spence.
Nobody wants to fight Benavidez. Nobody wants to fight him. Well, what are you gonna do when nobody wants to fight you?
Before we go, because we're almost out of time here. We're almost out of time here. Listen, I'll say this: Benavidez re-signed with what's his name? That the porn star guy. Jimmy, help me out here.
Sam Lukowitz.
Sam Lukowitz, thank you. Yes, Sam Lukowitz and the PBC, and his father said we're done with Canelo. So now they got they only have the PBC side to work with, and the names that they brought up were Andrade, Charlo, that's Jermall Charlo, and the aforementioned Morrell. The way I see it is they're in a bit of a bind here because Charlo hasn't fought since 2021. It's going to be 2 years this summer. Andrade, he's very good defensively, but from an offensive standpoint, the guy fucking drains him, fades away after 6 rounds. He's at about 35 now, 36. I don't see that. And you're talking about attracting fans. I don't think that attracts that many fans. Morrell is unknown and unproven, but at least he hits hard. And at least, in the public's perception, they can put in a couple of his highlight knockout. All right, somebody's breathing into their mic, and they can market that. Other than that, they're really out of options here with David Morrell. I mean,
That's a super dangerous fight for Benavidez. Super dangerous.
How many times have we seen guys? How many times have we seen guys with that type of talent, and when they move up to better competition, they start looking very ordinary?
There you go.
David Morrell is nothing but a rabbit punching bum. I mean, all he does is crack somebody in the back of the head to get an advantage over him. There's nothing special about him. What are you guys on about David Morrell? He could have knocked out a shit
3 different people on the stretcher. I know that. So he's obviously got some type of power.
Yeah. After hitting him in the back of the head, motherfucker.
Morrell has fought goat herders and cab drivers, bro. Literally,
goat herders.
He's fought nobody.
I mean, they're moving him fast for a reason. He's got 8 fights, and they want to put him in there with Benavidez. They obviously believe in him.
Well, we shall see.
Canelo's already stated that he's not going to fight any of them until they fight each other. He's just done giving away the golden ticket.
Yeah, while I fight Ryder, you guys go over there and kill each other. Yeah, that's a great plan.
Ryder, first off, is a mandatory.
I mean,
Yeah.
Ryder is more.
God knows
Ryder
how
is
he got
more.
that shit.
Ryder is more proven than Morel. That's for sure. So I mean, he's got a
Morel will kill that guy.
Listen, you're shooting yourself in the foot with your argument here. You know, he is a more accomplished fighter at this point. He's got a way better resume than Morel and a better resume than Benavidez. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean,
He's
Loma
going to come forward. This fight's going to be good.
Loma was more accomplished than Teofimo before they fought. That doesn't necessarily mean you win the fight.
I get it, but you're making the argument about who's fought who, and it's just, come on.
No, I'm
man.
not. No, I'm not. I'm not the one saying that's somebody else.
Of course you
no,
are.
I'm not.
Like you're saying, who is this guy?
Okay, be honest with yourself.
Go beat themselves up over there. I
want you to be honest with yourself.
Come on, man.
I want you to be honest with yourself. Would you pick John Ryder to beat?
This is also a tune-up fight, my friend. How many fighters right now are making a career out of stay busy fights? This is a stay busy tune-up fight for Canelo after a hand surgery. I mean, how many fighters right now are making a career out of this shit?
Errol Spence came out of a car crash and fought Danny Garcia. Not everybody takes tune-up fights.
No, but hold on. But he didn't have. That was a tune-up fight. He didn't have injuries. He didn't have injuries.
I mean, Danny Garcia is way more accomplished than John Ryder.
Yeah, but he didn't have injuries.
No, really?
Yeah,
really? No. Let's not get into
it.
Fellas. Let's not get into the Danny Garcia thing because we're running out of time. Yeah, Errol Spence got into a car accident, but he was not injured. He didn't suffer an injury that delayed him and required surgery. I think the only thing that he really bruised was skin and I think some teeth got taken out. But anyway, listen, fellas, we gotta go. I actually had to push the Second Renaissance forward because now we're a little bit late. With that being said, shout out to everybody that joined the panel. We gotta go. Shout out to everybody that donated the super chat. Shout out to everybody that hit the like. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Don't forget to check us out on Rumble, Second Renaissance. I'm gonna be going over there right now. We're gonna be talking about freedom of speech and how some of these stand-up. I'm gonna ask the question whether stand-up comics are actually hypocrites. Because they like to talk about when people get offended, they call them snowflakes. But then when other people go after them, all of a sudden they start crying. So I'm going to talk about that. Like I said, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. I put the link in there for the, Rumble. Yeah. Hold on a second. I don't even think this works. Yeah, I don't think this link works. Hold on. All right. Listen. So again, shout out to everybody that joined. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and we'll